explain to me, what is the difference between litigation and mediation?
Okay, so litigation is when you go to court. Litigation is when you will get the judicially imposed solution, or what I like to call the sobering reality of a judicially imposed solution. Whereas Robin Williams once said, matrimonial litigation is the act of ripping your testicles out through your wallet and your heart. Mediation actually requires a bit of an explanation. Mediation, the word comes from the Latin media, which means to fabricate, to exaggerate, to make shit up. Oh wait, no, that's the definition of CNN, I forgot. They're the ones that said Hillary was going to win the election and then nobody liked Donald. Anyhow, mediation means that you actually go into a process where a mediator assists you in coming to a consensual agreement. Yeah, you agree. It's not a forced solution. In mediation, you can say, I don't agree, I'm walking away, I'm stopping. There is no imposed solution. It is the concept of convincing people to come to their own crafted solution voluntarily. And when it's done well, with a really experienced mediator who knows the law better than most of the lawyers and the judges, it's a very effective process. It's faster. You can get access to them a lot quicker. Yeah, you pay them for their time, and good ones are worth the price of good family law lawyers. But my typical mediation in front of a very experienced Toronto mediator is typically over in 3 to 4 hours. I joke with Phil Epstein, who I think is one of the best mediators on the planet, that he's the drive-by mediator. I've yet to get the free sandwiches at lunch because we start at 9 and we're always out of there by noon. I think he does it on purpose because he doesn't want to buy me a sandwich. Maybe he's seen me eat. But you get a good mediator who's a senior litigator who's been at it for 40 plus years, who's actually taught the judges and written the textbooks. These people will sit you and your clients down and in very short order explain exactly what would happen in front of a courtroom anyway. So why don't we get there voluntarily before spending $100,000 or $200,000?
How long does the mediation take then?
So a typical mediated file, from start to finish, in my experience, mediators will book a date for you within 6 to 10 weeks. Mm-hmm. You prepare, you make full disclosure again, and I'll harp on about that because without full disclosure, you can't figure out what you're going to do. I mean, if I say, Karen, do you want what's in the red leather case or do you want what's in the bone box? I'm telling you, if you're just playing a parlor game, it's fun. But if you're talking about the rest of your life after divorce, I want to know that inside here is just a pair of glasses and inside here is, ooh, that's a hand-carved dagger. I'll take the hand-carved dagger. It's probably worth more money. But you need to have all the cards on the table. So with all the cards on the table, book a date with a mediator, start to finish, less than 3 months. Beats the heck out of 2 to 3 years in the slow-moving traffic of the GTA court system, or even the fast-moving traffic of 12 months in front of the Northern Ontario court system.
So is it also cheaper to go through mediation?
Sure it is, yes. Because people will say, oh, I don't want to pay $5,000 for a mediator. Well, that means $2,500 for my client, $2,500 for the other client. But if you get it done in 2 to 3 months, compared to going the distance of 12 to 24 months in litigation, when you're paying a lawyer $500, $600, $700, $800 an hour, I mean, that's like an expensive cocaine habit on steroids. It's insane. You'll spend a couple $100,000. You mediate a file and settle it, you might spend $30,000 or $40,000, maybe less. At the end of the day, significantly cheaper, and you have a hand in crafting your own solution. So I remind people that the sobering imposition of a judicially forced solution can sometimes give you a decision when you both walk out of the courtroom and you look at each other and you say, what the heck was that? I'll give you an example. 1988. I'd only been doing this a couple of years. Young lawyer, again, a custody case. I'm on one side, another lawyer who's now a judge is on the other side, and she and I are fighting with these 2 parents with 2 little kids. He wanted custody, she wanted custody. We get in front of the judge, we go to trial. Boy, did we get a surprise. The judge made something that's now known as a nesting order. Back then, these things didn't exist. What the judge says was, we're leaving the kids in the matrimonial home. You can't sell the home. Dad, you're going to move in on 1 week, then you're going to move out. Mom, you're going to move in on 1 week, and you're going to move out. You both have to get your own place because the kids are going to live in the house. You 2 are going to shuttle in and out. Was anybody happy with that decision? Absolutely not. Did we think the judge had been smoking something that they should have shared with us? Absolutely. Did it force us to go outside and craft our own solution really fast and mediate something? Damn straight it did. Maybe in retrospect, the judge was being very wise and said, you both heads can't agree. I'm going to force you to agree by giving you something so untenable that you don't have a choice. So you have to be careful when you go to court because you may get something you don't like.
So you have more control in mediation.
Completely. Now, mediation reminds me of that great Louis Nizer quote. Louis Nizer was a brilliant trial lawyer in America in the 1950s, and he wrote a book called My Life in Court. And a Louis Nizer quote, at least I think it's his quote, is, and I'm going to bastardize this, I'm sorry, Louis, it does very little good for the sheep to make laws requiring vegetarianism if one wolf disagrees. So you can be as mediation-minded as you want to be. And if you've got somebody on the other side whose response to everything is the answer is no, what's your question, go do something biologically impossible, then mediation isn't going to work. You're going to bang your head against the wall. Then you need the blunt imposition of a judicially forced solution, i.e. litigation. Rip them out through the heart and the wallet. Now we're done.
She's really
I won't let them sign those things because that's just covering my ass.
Yeah.
It's not about covering my ass. My ass, trust me, there's a lot of it. It's well covered. Marcello Tarantino does a hell of a job with the Italian suits. It's well covered. You got to say to your client, I won't let you do it, and that means you will fire me, because then they understand it's serious. But I'm prepared to say, I don't want your money. A lawyer says, I don't want your money. Whoa, altered reality. Then the client says, holy shit, this must be serious. He actually is going to dump me as a client. I must be signing something really bad. And I sit them down and say, let me run the scenario for you. Do you understand when this happens or this happens or this happens, you will be destitute. You won't be able to afford basic clothes for your kids. You'll be going to Value Village and you'll be clipping coupons and you'll be eating cat food.
Wow.
Whereas your ex will be bringing in a couple $100,000 a year. We'll have a pension, we'll have assets, we'll have everything else. And then you'll look at me and you'll say, why the hell did you let me do this? Why didn't you have the moxie or the intestinal fortitude or the insert body part here to stop me? Well, I do. I'll stop them. I'll say, absolutely not. If you're going to do it, go do it with somebody else who won't stop you, not on my watch. I want stalkers. I don't want followers. I want like YouTube stalkers. I want like crazy people inside my house going, could I have your own?
He wants like Gary V like style
stalkers.
stalkers.
No.
I'm a Gary V stalker.
So I think I'm smarter than Gary V. I think I'm more articulate than Gary V. And I know I dress a lot better than Gary V.
Yeah.
And I got better stories than Gary V. I've actually done some stuff with him. So.
Gary V has lots of stories, let me tell you.
I know, but mine, you got to admit mine are a little more exotic. I mean, they are. You know, guys got to get out a little more.
That's,
Yeah, he's just
Wait
like
a week to
he's
convince Anthony Bourdain to do one of
he's
these.
a worker.
And the guys think he sort of rambles on.
you should give him a shout out.
Not that I ramble on.
Oh yeah,
Give him a shout out.
A shout out to Gary V.
Yeah.
Gary V, you got to come to Timmins. We could have like elk steaks together and kill stuff in the bush and barbecue it and talk about stuff.